But next up, it's the two ladies in the field of 16. Seoa has got 2 wins from 9. Chieh-Yu has lost all of her matches so far. Alex Laley alongside me. What have you made of these two players throughout the tournament, Alex?
Well, Rita from Chinese Taipei looks the better player of the two. They're both top female players. Yu is the reigning world champion. She looks the better player. She comes with bigger shots than Seoa, and put herself in a good position to win in a number of matches, but didn't get there. Sometimes the wrong decision, sometimes wrong execution, sometimes just not the run of the ball. And so, on day 4, still looking for that first win. Where Seoa has already 2 matches won. Good break by Yu. A big shot on the 2 ball to be played. There's enough angle to drive the cue ball to the long rail on the left. She's an aggressive attacking player. She's taking time. I would almost think she's considering a safety, but now that I see where she addresses the cue ball, this is offense. Big stroke, nicely done.
One thing we have been talking about, Alex, do you have any idea where the Rita name came from?
No, but I do know that in Asia, many people, not just pool players, they have a Western name. But I don't know if they choose it or that it's given to them. Nice shot.
Well, she'll have been looking at this one as one of her most likely chances to get that first win. This is only the 2nd year we've been playing this format. Nobody went through without a win last year. Hecklin Kachi finished bottom of the table, but even he managed to win 2 of his 15 matches.
Yeah, it's interesting to see what will happen to Yu if she gets to a winning position once again. I mean, the longer it takes, the bigger that monkey on your back. And this miss on the 4, very uncharacteristic. She's a Fargo rate 782, I believe. That's really high. To put that in perspective, there are just 2 American players that reached the 800 target in Fargo rate. Woodward and Van Boning. Bringing 2 cues to the table. There's a 30-second shot clock in play. Players don't want to lose time having to walk back to the chair. Getting the jump cue out. First the alignment, then the elevation. Nice effort.
These two met in quite a big match very recently, semi-finals of the Women's World Championship in Atlantic City in January. So Seoa was leading 6-2, race to 9. Then she had a misjudged safety on the 1 in the next rack. Really did prove to be a turning point. Chou turned things around to win 9-7, then went on to beat Alison Fisher 9-0 in the final.
It's a good outcome there. It's a big day for Yu. 3 matches to be played. She's playing Alban Ocean and SVB. Great opportunity for her and for women's pool.
A lot of pressure for her at the same time, though, isn't there?
That's
because she's still looking for that first win, and with opponents like that coming up later in the day,
Ball in
she
hand.
knows this has got to be her best chance of getting it before Thursday's out.
Please start the clock.
Yeah, but in a way, there's less pressure if you play the likes of Ocean and SVB. So Seoa beat Albin Ocean yesterday, played a terrific match. So Seoa having won the safety battle. Great position. Now overcooked the draw shot somewhat, meaning she'll be playing a longer 6-ball.
21 years of age, from South Korea. Though she was beaten in the semi-finals of that Women's World Championship back in January. Since then, she's won the Las Vegas Open at the end of February. Prize money already this year is $25,000 just from those two events, the World Championship and the Las Vegas tournament.
So this distance on the 7 started with that overcooked draw shot. Meant she had to play a long 6, means she has to play a long 7, means she has to play a long 8. I wouldn't try to do too much with spin. Just play a natural line with the cue ball, top spin. And the rest is speed control. On the money.
Well, of these two players, Seoa has had the better of it so far in the tournament with a couple of wins. She's had the better of the opening rack. She leads 1-0. Khalid Al-Ghamdi is struggling again. Really should have beaten Jason Shaw, couldn't get the job done. Straight back out to play Earl Strickland, and he's trailing by 3 racks to 0. What do you think that's going to do, Alex, to Khalid? He's come here hoping to gain experience of playing these top players as much as anything else. But the fact that it hasn't gone so well for him, could it actually be a negative?
Of course, yeah. He comes in telling himself and understanding that it's an opportunity. It's a showcase event for him. A great opportunity to gain experience. But then one match lost, another match lost, racks lost where he could have and should have won. You know, the frustration builds, and that was clear to see when he played Jason Shaw. He made some great shots to get himself in a winning position, and then missing a sitter. He's frustrated, understandably so, but that's also part of the learning curve.
And I guess what didn't help him in that Shaw match was the fact he had suffered so many defeats over the last few days, and again, the pressure grows to try to find a win.
I remember in the past there was the World Pool League, it was called, a Matchroom event in Warsaw. I played in it, 6 players in a round-robin format. I've been there where you, in a round-robin format, it's difficult to stay fresh in your head, to shake off a loss or a missed 8-ball that cost you. So then when you're halfway the event, you still have a good chance to qualify, but you just get intoxicated.
Oh, I've seen the shifts in momentum. Konrad Yasusin, more than anyone, got off to that great start and then couldn't find a win for the next few matches.
Oh, yeah. An implosion. Now, good bank by Seoa. It's more about cue ball control here than about the actual cut on the 4. Yeah, trying to catch that 4 just a little fuller in order to control the cue ball. Maybe a better shot would have been to play double speed, let that cue ball travel 4 rails and come back past the 7 and 8. Let's see how Yu handles this position. Oh, the reigning world champion. This is far below her level.
Again, that may well be a product of her experiences over the last few days. Even if it is players of a higher level than she's used to, when you keep getting defeat after defeat, gets sucked into a sort of quagmire. Seen it in both years of the Premier League from some very good players.
Yeah, confidence comes by foot and leaves on a horse, they say in the Netherlands.
Dutch always have a great way of putting everything.
Oh, that's nice. But she'll have to do it again. An easier jump this. And therefore, in a way, difficult mentally. Now she's favored to make it. Shot.
Nothing's come easy for her in this tournament. Certainly the case again in this rack. She has been close to winning a couple of matches. 2 hill finishes, one against Skylar Woodward, and most remarkably of all, on the opening day she was a rack away from beating Francisco Sanchez Ruiz.
Tricky this. Oh. It's gut-wrenching. It's anyone that plays competitive pool or snooker or whatever cue sport discipline knows how this feels.
And she pulled out the 2 successful pots on the jump shots back to back, and then missed an 8 that she would have seemed much more likely to get. And so Seoa, wonderful opportunity to hammer home the point here, and that's nicely played.
Seems to play a high ball. Many players here would hit center or below center. Whatever way she does it, she does it. She sinks to 9, picks up the pieces where you left it. Ooh, a big miss on the 8 ball for Chinese Taipei, Chieh-Yu.
Yeah, 2-0. And I think if you've been told, Alex, before the match that one of these players has got a couple of wins and the other one is still looking for her first, it wouldn't be hard to spot which was which from the body language. You can just see it in their whole demeanor.
You mentioned, Michael, on day 1, a hill loss from you against FSR.
That's right.
If only she would have won that match.
Oh, different story.
Different story, yeah, because on day 1, Carl, Boyce and me, we were talking. We thought, well, we envisioned her winning 4, maybe 5 matches.
3.
Had she won that first hill match, who knows?
I've seen Kelly Fisher perform well in this event in both of the last 2 years, and also seen some strong play from the likes of Christina Tkach, Yasmin Ocean. They both played in the first year of it when it was still the Championship League. Not happening for Chieh-Yu as she breaks in rack 3.
Very nice break. Little unfortunate with that 4 ball. The pink 4. Bouncing off of the short rail. Leaving you nothing other than a safety shot. Now she has to choose here if she focuses more on the 1 or more on the cue ball. If she focuses on the cue ball, the 1 will track towards the 2 ball. Or cut it more and bring the 1 ball around the 2 towards the 5 on the short rail. Nice.
I mentioned the World Championship semi-final between these two. They have played again since in that Las Vegas tournament. On that occasion it was Seoa who won on her way to the title.
Extension cool.
Difficult kick for Chou. Because she's playing away from the ball, from the 1 ball. So you don't have the ball in your vision. Difficult to feel the line.
Fast stroke.
Good safety by you, leads to a ball in hand.
Ball in hand.
Khalid Al-Ghamdi wasn't able to win from in front against Jason Shaw. Now he's trying to win from behind against Earl Strickland. He was trailing 4-0, but has now pulled 2 racks back.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, Michael, today, tomorrow. Tien, Vietnamese Tien, Earl Strickland from the US, Skylar Woodward. They can really catch a gear. It's not too late. And if they would catch a gear and not qualify, they can still do damage.
Well, Woodward last year wasn't great in the first phase, but then really picked things up in the second and ultimately got all the way to the last day. Those 3 players you mentioned there are the players currently occupying the 3 positions immediately below the all-important top 10. I think the players below that, Al Ghamdi and the 2 we're watching here, it's looking like a pretty forlorn hope at this stage.
Needs a big stroke here, which she possesses. Now make sure to hit it deep enough, the cue ball. Come above the 6. If she comes below the 6, the pocket low left comes into play. It's all about speed, this shot. Don't overrun your mark. Yeah, I like this. Maybe this is even what she chose to play instead of trying to come in straight on the 6. Choosing to leave an angle on the 6. You have a natural route for position. Little short. A lot of angle, so much angle on this table. This ice rink of a TV table that she would maybe choose to leave a longer 9. That side pocket on the right looms large. Clearly visible, she hit that 7 fat on purpose, catching a little more meat, making it easier to come across the side pocket.
Chieh-Yu really needs to find a win from somewhere. She desperately needed to win that rack, and she has. She's off and running here, but she still trails. It's 2-1. Well, Chieh-Yu did well in rack 3 to put the events of the previous rack out of her mind sufficiently to take rack that 4. Third and open her account here. Break. Seoa leading 2-1 as she breaks.
2 racks to 1.
Oh wow, that works. Now normally players would like to park the cue ball in the center of the table in 9 ball because that's the most likely spot to see the lowest numbered ball. But here with the cut break you often see that cue ball get to the lower side of the table. And in this case it works wonders. 3 ball sitting ready. Now the biggest challenge here will be that 7 later on. This could have been a better position on the 4 because she needs to get right on the 5. Now if there's no problem later on in the rack, if there's no cluster to be opened or solved, you have more margin, but now she needs to prepare. She wants to be ideal on the 6.
Big story developing on the other table. I was telling you, Khalid Al Ghamdi was 4-0 down to Earl Strickland. Just the 44 years between these two. Well, Ghamdi has got it back to 4-3, and as you can see now on the right-hand side of your screen, he has a chance to level.
Yeah, it's becoming very interesting here in the Morningside arena. On both ends of the group table.
You imagine what Earl will be like if he loses 5-4 from 4-0 up against a 17-year-old. Stay away from him for the rest of the day.
convinced. I think I'm convinced that that 7 ball doesn't go. This is a good angle to open the 7. Good speed. No luck. The way she went into the ball, she needed a little luck. Maybe another player or she at better times would have chosen a slightly different angle to get into the 7-8. Two real kick shots, super sensitive. Play this without spin.
Foul stroke. All in hand.
Just when it looked as though we might see our first break and run of the match and see Seoa reassert herself. Now it seems as though we're going to find ourselves all square.
Now if Rita at the table would go to win this match, to win her first match in this event, 2 matches later today against 2 world champions, I see her win one of those if she goes on to win this match.
Well, she didn't have to work anywhere near as hard for that rack as she did for the previous one, but she has come from 2-0 down to draw level. As you saw, it has gone 4-all now on the other table. This would be one of the stories of the week if Al-Ghamdi could win from that position, particularly when you consider the strong position he was in against Jason Shaw when he proved unable to finish the job. And we were talking earlier, Alex, about how Al-Ghamdi might feel coming away from this experience, having lost so many matches. But if he could pull off a result like this, it would certainly make a huge difference to his state of mind.
Yeah, and as a learning experience, as a lesson for the future, that it doesn't matter how low you feel, there's always a turnaround around the corner.
Extension called.
Difficult position. He can, if he would try to cross the 1 and play safe behind the 2 ball, he needs to play a slow 1 ball. I think he played this really smart, even though the 1 ball slightly exposed or easy to hit off of the rail. We'll get back to the feature table.
Yeah, and needless to say, we'll keep an eye on that clash of the generations.
Looking to swing the cue ball around 4 rails, land above the 3 ball. Ooh. Played that a lot softer than she intended.
Ghamdi has potted the 1. Has a look at the 2 over on the other table. All sorts of ways of looking at that in terms of the age gap. You consider Strickland won the last of his 5 US Opens a few years before Al-Ghamdi was even born. Assuming that Earl is older than Khalid's parents.
Don't rub it in.
Well, he can't hear me. That's the one safe place if you want to say something about Earl, is when he's out in the arena.
Good position to kick and stick. Full hit on the 2 ball. Didn't manage to hook her opponent, but a lot of distance, and I don't think the cut on the 2 is on.
Extension called.
Opting to use her extension. It looks like she's addressing right on the cue ball. That would mean that she's cutting. Twirl that cue ball thin onto the 2.
Well, over on table 2, Al-Ghamdi has missed the 5. Could have had a worse outcome.
Looking at a two-rail kick. Chieh-Yu. She put her cue in the middle.
Extension called.
So if you're playing a two-railer, top rail, long rail, you put your cue in the middle of those two balls, of the two ball and the cue ball, pointed towards the pocket, and then approximately a parallel line. Left a makeable two ball, but not a gimme.
Meanwhile, Earl Strickland has managed to pot the 5, so it's a chance for him to get over the line. Remember, he was 4-0 up in this match. And these are huge moments for him if he's to have any real chance of getting through. He's on 3 wins from 9 matches. So he needs a really big finish for this first phase of the tournament if he's going to get through to the weekend. Oh, can you believe what he's done to himself?
Oh my. Oh my. A roller coaster ride on table 2 that I would not like to be a part of as a player.
That was a big moment for Gamdy, a big test of his nerve and his cueing, and he was a long way out with that.
Earl's going all in. It's still a shot you can attack and miss it on the pro side. So making sure you overcut. Nice. Swung it in. It's going to get straight in on the 9.
So Earl Strickland 4-0 up, pegged back to 4-all, but he's got there in the end. He wins by 5 racks to 4. That's back-to-back hill defeats for Khalid Gamdy, but in 2 very different sets of circumstances. He has still just 2 wins with only 4 matches left to go.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting with Earl winning his first match of the day. 4 out of 10. It doesn't sound like a lot, but if we look at the table, number 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, it's all around 5 out of 9, 5 out of 10.
Oh yeah, that win definitely keeps him in it. I think if he'd lost that, it would have been hard to see him getting through, but the chance is still alive.
Chieh-Yu with this 9 for the lead. 3-2 up in a short race to 5. Fighting for her first match victory in the PLP.
Yeah, and it's been a good mental effort from her. She was 2-0 down in this. She's had to work hard to turn it round. A couple of racks away from finally breaking her duck and avoiding becoming the first player in Premier League history to lose all 15 matches in the first phase. So Earl Strickland now will be looking to carry forward a bit of momentum into his next match, and the good news for him is it's in about 5 minutes' time against Longduc Tien. And when you look at Tien on 4 wins from 11, that's a huge contest for the 2 of them in terms of their prospects of getting through. Perhaps the most significant match we've had yet.
Rack 6.
In and around that bubble for 10th place. 6 wins last year was 10th place, but there was 1 player on 6 who missed out on Rack's countback. So I think 7 is what you've got to try to get to make pretty much sure of it.
I remember, just to give you or people an idea of what a round-robin format can do to a player. I played World Championships a long time ago in Chinese Taipei, and I lost a couple of painful matches in my group, and I was in give-up mode. Self-sabotage, I was like, whatever. And then my coach, he started calculating, and he said, you still have a chance. Win 5-1, win 5-0, and you qualify. And I couldn't believe him, and then we looked at it again, and it actually was the case. There was still a door open. It's so difficult to stay positive.
I've got to ask you what happened then, Alex. How did those
qualified.
matches? You got through? You got the job done? Wow.
I got through. Twice across. She doesn't need a whole lot of spin. Nice.
Been around a while. She was runner-up in the Women's World Junior Championship 5 years ago now. Was also runner-up in the women's division at the Asian Open in Singapore last August.
Very steady player, very calm. Plays natural lines.
Yeah, she never looks in any way hurried around the table, but she's managing to do it within the confines of the shot clock, so if that's what works for her, then that's just fine.
Now, playing that 5-ball and going forward somewhat with the cue ball would have made this easier to get from the 6 to the 7. Drawing back is not difficult, but doing it with control is. But she's all right. Stayed away from the rail. Going forward, long short. No, playing it very softly. Cool as a cucumber.
Well, so Seoa needed a big response to losing 3 racks in a row. She's delivered it there to draw level once again at 3-all. The finish is next. Two players both in real need of a win. So Seoa has already got a couple in this Premier League. Chieh-Yu has yet to find one. She was leading 3-2, but now they're back on level terms as she breaks in rack 7.
Break. Scores a tie, 3 racks each.
World Championship winner here breaking in a race to 2. She wants this so badly.
Foul.
I think no one here likes to see anyone leave Leicester without one match victory. That would be tough on her. But so is not looking to hand it over to her. 2 rails.
Yeah, and unlike probably Chou, so Seoa won't have given up all hope of getting through to the next phase. If she can win this, that takes her on to 3, and we've said 7 really is the target, but 6 was enough last year in one case. So if she could get on to 3 wins, she'll still feel she's got a glimmer of hope. And Omar Al-Shaheen and Lucius Yap both on 6 last year. Al-Shaheen got the nod on the racks count back.
Big stroke this. Wouldn't try to break it up, I think. Make sure to see the 4. Nice. I said nice before I saw the actual impact, the cue ball line, but look how this ended up. Perfect position to play a stop shot tight against the 5. Two rails. Difficult 2-railer to judge because the entry on the first rail, on the short rail, is flat. But the nice thing about it is that the player will use the side pocket as a reference. If you track towards a pocket, gives you just that little bit more feel. Watch out here. A lot of slide on the first rail. Comes out more flat than you expect. So if she misses, I expect her to miss short. Short.
Foul strike. Ball in hand. Please start the clock. 2 fouls.
Yeah, and that's why I would always advise players to sometimes practice kick shots and spray the cue ball with silicones. Then you get that slide on the ball. Interesting choice by Chou. Natural here, the angle to swing the cue ball around, but the 7 is approximately there where the cue ball will track. Good shot. Very nice shot.
And we mentioned earlier, she did beat Alban Ocean in her last match. Her other win came against Conrad Yasushin. Also pretty close against Long Duc Tien. That was only 5-4.
Yeah, she's playing more her game, like her average game, than Rita is. It could still come for Chieh-Yu. This is a very good position for the South Korean to take the lead, to go to the hill. Very smooth. Very good cue ball control, leaving herself natural angles on most shots.
The same again in that case. So with the simplest of 9s, she turns it around again from 3-2 down. So Seoa now leads 4-3, and she'll be breaking on the hill.
The rack.
As is Seoa. She's playing really good. Smooth operator, now breaking in the 8th. Looking to finish it off right here, right now.
The last time she broke, she ran out from it.
Wow. It's also run off the ball. She sort of mishit the one. Too thin, lost control of the cue ball. It comes out smelling like a rose. Depends on the exact angle if she'll choose to follow, come around to 4 or draw back. She's following. I like how she plays. It's inspiring. Many players would often choose to do a little more, get to that extra rail. She keeps it very simple. And you need a steady hand to play like she does. Not steady like in firm, but hit the ball with a lot of quality.
In a way, as you alluded to earlier, Alex, if she can close this out here, won't be so much pressure on her later in the day. The day's already a success. She's got a win. And after that, she faces 2 of the last 3 World 9-ball champions, Alban Ocean and Shane van Bonen. And, well, I'll look on it and say that anything she gets from those two is a
Extension
bonus.
called.
Ocean, of course, is...
Yeah, you're talking about Chieh-Yu.
Sorry, I'm talking about Chieh-Yu, sorry.
Yes.
There will be less pressure on her in those matches, and sorry, not the days of success. But she has the chance to make the day a success by winning one of those, and I think there'll be less expectation on her.
Well, we're supposed to be unbiased as a commentator, but I'm rooting for Chieh-Yu to get that point today.
I think pretty much every neutral will be. As for Seoa, well, what I was going to say about her is that she only has one more match to play today against Skylar Woodward, who's not been having the best of weeks.
Drawing back. And there is hope for Chieh-Yu. She missed thin or thick. Yeah, thick. And the thing is, so she missed it thick and she came close to the side pocket. So I believe subconsciously, how she envisioned the shot, she needed to miss thick in order to get the cue ball there. Or hit it with less speed.
You like this for a little bit of a tester. Back against the wall, still looking for your first win at the 10th attempt.
And what's her choice? Will she choose to go to the long rail or just go straight up? Oi, oi, oi. Oh. This is a nightmare event for Chieh-Yu. And listen, Michael, I believe with champions, they'll always bounce back stronger from an experience like this, but at the moment, I'm sure it's traumatic for you.
And yet, she still isn't out of this. You could see from her body language on the last shot, both before she played it and indeed after she'd missed it, just how much she's feeling it out there. To keep reminding herself, this match isn't gone yet.
Two ways to cut this ball. Played with spin, play the cue ball short, long, long, or with a rolling cue ball. Addressing low. So it looks like she's swinging it round. Nice, that's a good shot. That's a good shot by Chieh-Yu.
Suddenly everything looks different for her, because now she's the one who's going to be breaking on the hill in the deciding rack.
She's fighting so incredibly hard, and it's difficult. So you fall, you tremble, then you get back up again. Positive self-talk. You can do this, you got this, then you miss again. She's fallen and got back up again about 38 times this tournament.
And it feels like every single thing she's done in this match, even the simple things, it's all coming so hard. Nothing is feeling straightforward to her at the moment. Just time to tell you what's going on over on table 2. Earl Strickland won the first 4 racks of his previous match. He's lost the first 4 in this one. Did manage to get over the line eventually at 5-4 against Khalid Al Ghamdi.
Hill.
He's now trailing 4-0 against
to
Long Duc Tien.
Third hill match for Chieh-Yu. Is she going to do it? Beautiful break. 9 ball.
Watch the 9. What a way this will be to get your first win. Oh,
but hey, she has an angle. At least from our view, from our camera point, it looks like she has an angle to play the 3. Yeah. And combine it with a chance of a carom, a match-winning carom on the 9. Oh, a reset.
Knows what could be at stake here. So what do you think? Was her mind maybe a little bit drawn away to the possibility of the carom and taken off the main objective?
No, not even that. This was just an implosion, a technical breakdown. Nerves. Just the nerves of after all these missed opportunities during the PLP to finally get it over with. But this is not over for Seoa. She can make that 6 past the 8 ball, but it's tight. She can also play with speed, go to the kitchen with the cue ball for a 6-9 carom. Very makeable. Good, but how tight is it? How well will she be able to get that cue ball off of the rail? I wouldn't like to play that 7 with the cue ball on the rail. She can draw into the 9. I like that. Attacking the 6. With the chance to carom the 9. Oh, what a match.
We love seeing the high quality, don't we? But we also enjoy this, watching two very accomplished players, both clearly fighting the mental battles to get over the line.
Yeah, at the moment it's Seoa against Seoa and you against you.
Extension called.
Earl Strickland has averted the whitewash anyway. Now trails Long Duc Tien 4-1.
Shot. This is it. The match-winning shot. She wants to put the cue ball there where the 8 is unmissable. It's still missable.
It is. I think with this tension, anything is. This goes in, she may have the easiest of 9s for the match. Oh, Seoa can't look. The long wait is finally over. Nobody lost all 15 last year, the first year of this format, and it isn't going to happen this year either. Chieh-Yu at the 10th attempt has got that first win. She has beaten Seoa by 5 racks to 4, having